Namaste, everyone. Hello, Pragya.
Good evening, Daaji.
Good evening, my dear.
It's absolutely wonderful to have this second interaction with you, Daaji. I have to say that yesterday was also a very enriching experience for me. The conversation was extremely transformational in the way that I took the whole day to introspect and spend a lot of time thinking about some of the ideas you shared yesterday. I hope everyone around felt the same. And I want to thank all of you for joining again for the second session. And I promise, Daji, I'm going to keep to time today. I know I also, like the others, was enjoying the conversation so much that I lost track of time. So today we're going to make sure we stick to time. Just a few housekeeping things. Let's ensure our phones are switched off, and let's make sure we're sitting in a quiet room and taking really this time to connect with ourselves, and also keeping our hearts open to what Daji has to share with us. So Daji, very quickly moving on, to the first question. I actually have Saurav, who is an avid supporter of Heartfulness. He's a new practitioner. He is the ex CFO of NDTV and has worked with Vani at Kalari for some time, and now has his own fantastically successful venture called My Take. So Saurav, please, over to you. Please ask your first question.
Thank you, Pragya. Namaskar, Daaji. I have a slightly different question. So in the world of AI and ML, where there are fears already expressed by certain sections of tech fraternity that machines will start gaining control of humans, there's also this theory of simulation. There's a guy called Nick Bostrom, who's a philosopher from Oxford, and he has written a detailed research paper on it. Even Elon Musk supports it. As per this theory, the human existence is like an artificial simulation, just like a computer simulation. This probably explains the existence of higher beings who are our masters or gods, and perhaps we are all volunteers in this simulation game. We keep facing the same problems again and again in our lives and in our reincarnations till we overcome them. Since most of us spend a bulk of our time in the digital world, what do you think of a theory like this?
Well, it's a really, and I do believe that we as human beings are also experiments of some higher beings. And as human beings, somehow we keep on continue doing these experimentations, you see. And sometimes, which are great, sometimes it turns out to be really bad. Let me give you an example. GMO, for example. Genetically modified seeds they use in farming to produce a larger size fruit or vegetable, or something like cotton that will be resistant to various diseases. At the same time, it should be more productive. I would not argue that the benefits of organic stuff versus the hybrid seeds, etc. But observing the nature, let us see, when you talk of the evolution takes thousands and perhaps millions of years for any physiological process even to evolve. And when we talk of human life, during the human lifespan, I don't think we can evolve to the extent that you would dream of. Like we all dream to fly like an eagle or swim like a dolphin, but we can't during our lifetime. We can only age. When we talk of beneficial bacterial culture versus something which will deplete your immunity, I was wondering, how one of my help here in the ashram, he surprised me with the knowledge of how to use bacteria. Because some sandalwood trees and some coconut trees were getting infected with some rots, some white bugs, and it bores through the stem and it kills the entire tree. And I have seen even 40, 50-year-old giant neem tree, it will bore into it and kill it. And when he said, let's insert Pseudomonas bacterial culture, it will kill this and we will be able to protect the tree. I said, it's a wonderful idea. But when you talk of non-violence, etc., and you bring about this principle, even Gandhi was against taking some antibiotics to kill the germs in order to protect his wife. He refused when his wife was sick. He refused to give her antibiotic. Well, this is a story I heard. But as far as this artificial intelligence, etc., is concerned, it's a double-edged sword. It's often to our advantage, and depending upon who uses this gadget, it can be a disadvantage. Just as, with a gun, we can protect the country. With the same gun, you can kill somebody whom you don't like, perhaps. GMOs, again, it's a controversial subject, but when you want to produce a large tomato or large potatoes or large, a better tasting, a better color item, it would take thousands and thousands and thousands of years for nature to produce such a big fruit. But with human intelligence, with human intervention, we can genetically modify the thing and increase the crop. So this is another argument to, encourage such genetic research. I think we need to follow the trend and keep changing our, as they say, keep mutating our approach towards the scientific researches. If COVID virus can mutate into so many things for its survival, I'm sure we can also mutate and have our approaches so that human race can flourish. And I would not say if we can flourish single-handedly or alone, that will be very disadvantageous. We need to flourish together without the least damage to the nature.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Daaji. And I think, Kanha is a prime example of sustainability. I hope when the world normalizes and people can go visit, it's been absolutely amazing to see what it was a few years ago to now. And I'm sure it's even grown more in the last 2 years, when the lockdown happened. Over to the next question, I think Carl Morton, if you could just introduce yourself and where you're from and ask your question, please.
Firstly, thank you. Thank you for organising this amazing event and for taking my question. So I'm based in France. I'm native English, but based in the south of France. I have another slightly abstract experience to share and then the question to follow. It's associated with lucid dreaming. So for those that are not aware, I'm sure, Daaji, you are, but for those that are not aware, that's where you're in a dream state, but you're fully aware of where you are. You can move around, do what you want, fly like an eagle or swim like a dolphin, as you just mentioned, which I've done before. But more recently, I've actually started to meditate heartfully in my lucid dreams, find a quiet spot and just meditate. And that has led to some really profound experiences, some energy sensations, and what I felt was like true bliss. Maybe because I'm less in contact with the body in that dream state. So can I have your point of view on this type of meditation, and also to ask if it's kind of common for others to do this?
The entire process of meditation moves us from where we are into something unknown. So the trajectory of each individual moves towards that unknown in a very, I would not say in a very common way, but most of us do feel, suppose in the very first month of meditating, you had some experiences where you could feel, you can intuit, and you can have very light feeling in your heart, or sometimes lucid dreaming. It's okay. I personally do not pay a lot of attention to what I see on the way. My purpose, my goal is to reach the destination. Of course, we all do enjoy the scenery as we pass through. When we are passing, when you are traveling in a train, we enjoy sometimes, and sometimes, oh, it's too dull and too dry, let's close the window. And it happens even in spirituality that sometimes the experiences can discourage you. But that is the part of spirituality. There are ups and downs. Nothing moves without a circle. I mean, ups and downs are always there. There is a positive experience, then there will be negative experience. And this positive and negative is our own interpretation, actually. When electric current moves with the positive and the negative, what we call cathodic and anodic movement in an electrical wire, is it good or bad? I think none of the quality can be attributed to the movement of the electric current. Our consciousness, based on our preconditioning, keeps on judging the experience. Suppose a sannyasi who is a celibate, and he sees a lucid dream of mating with someone. He'll go crazy, perhaps he'll lose his sleep and say, what the hell has happened to me? You see, I have never thought of sleeping with someone, and now I have lost my celibacy. But that's what happened. Most dreams are something you keep on repressing all your life. But to a romantic person, he will welcome such a dream, mating with some strangers, perhaps. So dreams, it also depends on our own personal interpretations, what you really want in life. So I generally discard all sorts of experiences by simply writing them down in my diary and move on. Because the moment I pay attention to it, I get drawn into it. And I would be wasting a lot of time. It's like, when you are going on from New York to Disney World, Florida, it's at least 18, 19, 22 hours of car journey. On the way, you're taking your children and say, oh, they see McDonald's, and they see, all kinds of stuff on the way. Dad, I want French fries, and then they see Toys R Us, and when will you reach Disney World? That's it. And somebody says, oh, no, I need to use bathroom. I mean, these are all legitimate needs. Similar thing happens in our spiritual journey also. We got so mesmerized with certain experiences, and we like to deepen that experience. But I think it's good enough that we have a glimpse of it and move on. See? So I would remain dispassionate about the whole thing, observe, and without making judgments, keep moving.
Thank you, Daaji. So I think what I'm hearing you say is, keep your focus on the goal and come back to the first maxim, the second maxim, which is, your goal should be to be one with master. So that's what I'm hearing you say.
One with whatever goal you have in mind. You see, if peace of mind is your goal at the moment, strive for that. Next will automatically, you'll see, automatically. So for a lot of us, God realization cannot be the goal, because I don't know what God is. So that cannot be my goal. But the immediate goal can be, I like to feel happy. I like to feel stress-free. I would like to get rid of the fear. Okay, let that be your goal to start with.
Makes
and
sense.
then once that is achieved, something greater, better would come in front of you. Achieve that and move on.
Got it. The second question, Daaji, is from the chat. Shreya Shibani is asking, what should my attitude towards people, particularly relatives who don't wish well for me and create a lot of melodrama in my life and my family too? How should she deal with it, is her question.
Can you live without them? Can you exist without them, or do you have to depend on them? The whole equation in human life is how vital is the other person in your life? If that person is not vital and works like a weed, destroy it. I mean, we don't have to kill them, but move away from them, see? This association with toxic people always drains your battery, your heart, your emotions.
Understood. Andrew, you have a question. Please go ahead. Can you unmute yourself? Yes.
I guess I'm unmuted. Namaste, Daaji. Thank you for
Namaste,
helping me on
Andrew.
my spiritual journey.
Thank you.
So when I find, I'm new, I'm about a year old, or year in this. When I find something that I love, I want to share it with everyone. What is being done to accommodate Americans or non-Indians? Where should I direct people for a simple explanation of the Sajmark heartfulness practice? And then many of the people I know and myself have a negative opinion of the United Nations. How is heartfulness benefiting from being a non-GMO or a NGO, sorry. And what is the UN doing for heartfulness? Thank you.
Well, this is politically loaded question. We really don't benefit directly from our partnership with United Nations. Going along with them opens up many avenues in the institutions who believes in United Nations. So it opens the doors for us, and that's what we are looking for. And when we encourage children, for example, we have this essay writing competition on various topics, on morality, on ethics, on artificial intelligence. And we take up such subjects to schools and colleges. And we get a, very welcome gesture from such institution once we say we are associated with such an organization. Okay? And students also get a certificate that, they have cleared this particular essay, this competition, and those in various languages get the top, second, third prizes also, which are distributed under the logo of United Nations and Heartfulness. So people feel really happy receiving such awards also, you see. I don't think that our association with United Nations, none of us are contributing in a direct way or indirect way. What we are looking for is a human interaction through such association, you see. If it can open the doors for us, why not? Right. Taking up this movement, heartfulness movement, to local Americans, non-Indians. But the Indians are the original India, I would say Americans, no? This is just a we all arrived that later on, whether the Indians from Asia, but the real Indians were there only, you see. So we have to include them very much. And be you a white man or a person of African origin, it really doesn't matter as far as spirituality is concerned. When I talk of godliness or divinity, it is neither white nor black. It's not even energy, it's not even substance. It is something beyond that goes on manufacturing these energies and materials, the source of everything. So who knows? We need to learn to accommodate everything. That includes, everything and everyone, without any. While I was in US for many years, and in those days we had, earlier days were packed with a lot of local Americans, because many Indians did not migrate those days to United States. But later on, more and more techies and doctors and nurses and engineers started coming to US. They brought with them this practice also. Some of them were already practicing Sahaj Marg, and some of them started in United States. And there used to be often sometimes 2-3 local Americans, and I would say another 30-40 will be only Indians. And people do feel kind of confronted in such environment. They feel uneasy with different people, and that is quite understandable, which is unavoidable actually. And we had to make them understand that this goes beyond the boundaries of race. People who are pursuing spirituality, at least they should have this idea that, look, as long as I bind myself to such ideas, forget about proliferation of spirituality into others, but my spirituality will be hindered. It will be, it will not find its fullest expansion. When I consider even Indians as mine, I'm digging my own grave. Because in the end, even your own shadow is not yours. Shadow, when you are in the darkest times of your life and when light is not there, where will your shadow grow? Shadow will disappear. Your own, your very own. Forget about others. So either you make everyone as your own or none as yours, including yourself. There are two extremes which lead to the same goal, actually.
Wow, Daaji, that was incredible.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, and Andrew, the more I can add to the more tactical stuff, which is we have an amazing website, so you can point a lot of people there, and we also have a Heart in Tune app which you can download, which helps people make meditation a daily habit. So please feel free to use that, and also ask your friends to use that in case they're interested in meditation. Daaji, would you like me to take more questions, or should we meditate? I just thought I'll ask you how you're feeling.
Well, since you did mention this Heart in Tune app, I think that serves a lot of purpose. You're not interacting with a person of whatever origin. You are requesting a sitting, and somebody anonymous in some part of the world will be giving you the sitting, you see. But Andrew, I can tell you, if you really want to introduce a lot of people in America with whom you are familiar, and you think they will benefit from your services and your desire, I think you can start preparing yourself so that you can also become the trainer, and transmit, do the spiritual work on them as well. So, yesterday we were talking that Babuji used to say that I don't make disciples, I make masters. And in true sense, that masters are not here to, make anybody their slaves. They can also, anyone can become the trainer and transmit exactly like the master. So you're welcome to this adventure of serving the world. Thank you.
So, Daji, yesterday also we got a lot of questions around cleaning, and there's another one which has come in, which is, cleaning always feels very difficult to me, unlike meditation, which feels natural. And I've tried to follow the steps that are laid out in Designing Destiny, the book. Yet it's very hard for me to do cleaning. And we had some similar questions yesterday as well. So, please.
Well, I would walk you through this cleaning process for about 5 minutes if you all are keen on that one. So instead of me speaking about it, I'll really walk you through it and see if it makes sense to you and if it does help. Okay, sit comfortably, closed eyes. Remind yourself the purpose of doing this cleaning, that I'm sitting in order to become simple and pure. What do I have to do to arrive at simplicity and purity? I have to remove complexities and impurities. So I make a will, make a sankalpa that all complexities and impurities are going away. While you're making this sankalpa, imagine also that your pelvic area, the pelvic bones, are filled with golden liquid. Immerse your thoughts with this idea that the entire hip area is like a jello, golden jello. Now bring in this idea that all the complexities and impurities are going away from the backside, the entire back. In the form of smoke or vapor. And imagine that it is only accelerating the whole process of removal of complexities and impurities is simply accelerated. Means more smoke or vapor is going out of my back. Your attention sometimes can go towards the heart. Ignore that. Think of your entire back. And as you become lighter and lighter, and your heart feeling good about the whole thing, invite the grace from above. With a suggestion that grace is helping me get rid of these complexities and impurities, and is also filling me up the divine charge. You can hold on to this idea for another 3-4 minutes, and when it is over, gently open your eyes with a firm determination that yes, my cleaning is complete, and now my whole body has become like a temple worthy of having God in me. Thank you. So this is how we adopt this cleaning process every evening. See? But there is no harm. Now and then you feel during daytime or night again that, oh, let me do my cleaning. You can do it for a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Or also, there are moments where you feel weak and you might feel overwhelmed by emotions. Before they burst and like a volcano coming out, before that happens, you can sit for a few minutes and clean, adopt this method of cleaning. See? And there are other occasions like, for example, whenever I used to go for movies, and after watching movie, that emotion lingers on in your head, either good, bad, and especially the bad ones. You say, why did I go for this movie? It's not good. And you feel a bit upset and feel cheated about the whole movie. So soon as you come out, or sometimes I would not even complete the movie. I would just get out halfway through. Oh, it's not serving me any purpose. You get the idea, right? So it's not just the movie, but having some sort of process or discussions. I mean, you don't need to terminate it and make it worse for the other person. But when you do realize that, no, it's not going anywhere, it's only creating more and more impact on me as well as on the other person, respectfully postpone such discussion so that you don't make it worse. And sometimes I give you my personal example also that when I'm returning back from pharmacy to home, and just before leaving the pharmacy, you had a call from home, spoke with wife, and she was arguing perhaps. And then reaching home, you feel, okay, she argued with me like this today, and she was still making such statements, and you seem to enter with a lot of anger. Today, I will show it to her. But then, if you can remind yourself, okay, let me sit quietly and do my cleaning. So all that irritation and anger will disappear. And the moment you enter the house, your wife's face will drop and say, oh, he's not angry at all today. Sometimes, our spouses, they play really, really bad tricks on us. And somehow we can get out of these things in a very masterful way, without hurting anyone in the process. So you have avoided confrontation. Had it been there, you'd form more impressions. So cleaning can be done in many ways. Every evening, it's a regular affair. Doesn't matter. Second thing is where you happen to anticipate emotional burst. You can do it before only, so that you can salvage the situation. You can prevent the catastrophe. Third situation is where, just the example comes to my mind again is this: you go to an Italian restaurant, you had a lunch with your colleagues and some business people, and somehow, the tomato sauce gets to your shirt. Would you walk around with the white shirt with tomato ketchup or a tomato sauce on your shirt and show to the world, look, I had this lunch, in this Italian joint? No. And if you keep it long enough, you will not be able to clean it well. The stain will remain. But if you clean it immediately, the stain can be removed, and it will not last as a permanent mark. Same thing happens to our psyche. Yesterday only I was listening to Panchatantra story for my granddaughter. I was downloading it from YouTube. Once there's a story within the story. So one person says, look, argues, elder sister is arguing with the younger brother, because younger brother he keeps talking and talking and talking and talking while having lunch, and he can't finish the lunch. So elder sister says, I will share with you a story. And now the story begins there, you see. There was once a very rich man, and he had a son. He was brat. He was not working out at all. He was an extremely lazy person. Most rich people have this problem. Lazy children. There may be exceptions, so I'm sorry if I hurt anyone. But this is in general. So he took his son to a wise man. And this wise man says, okay, send your son to me. I will fix him up. So he did. Son goes to the wise man, and wise man says, okay, go lift this plant up, uproot it. It's a small shrub, so he could do it very easily. Then he sends it to a little bit more grown-up tree. So why don't you pull this one out? He had difficulty pulling this one out. And he said, now, try your best. And he whole day he almost spent. But finally, he was able to remove it from the roots. Third day, wise man tells his boy, pull out this tree, which was almost 50-year-old. The boy tried but he couldn't succeed. Then the wise man asks him, does it make any sense to you? He says, somehow I understand that the small plants I'm able to remove, but the big one I'm not able to remove. See? That's when wise man says to him, look, this has been there, this very sturdy tree whose roots are so deep. Like that, your habits have gone so deep inside that it's difficult to remove. So, if you have any bad habits, just coming in like fresh bad habit, cut it before it becomes a tree. Cut it while it is younger and manageable. It also means don't look into bad habits because they can become your permanent weeds and will not let you personally grow. Now we try to remove weeds from our vegetable gardens. Why not this? We are trying to create a better spiritual garden for us and for our loved ones. So bad habits are like weeds and we need to get rid of them. No one can get rid of it for us. Not even a guru, not even a master, not even God. If we create it, we have to remove it ourselves. Okay, Pragya, shall we meditate now?
Yes, Daaji, absolutely. And thank you for the cleaning process. It certainly helped clear a lot of doubts in my mind. So thank you for running us through that.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you. So, okay, we all meditate now. And the time now? 9:37. 9:37. Okay, so at 10, exactly 10, you can say that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's all meditate now.
That's all. Please do take the time to write your diary and journal your experience after this. Um, and thank you again for being such a engaging audience. I know I empathize with your disappointment of not being able to take all your questions to Daaji, but I hope you found the conversation enlightening like I did, and can take a lot of learnings which we can almost start applying immediately into our lives. It was really a powerful session. So thank you again, and I hope and look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the same time on the same link. And yeah, and please stay safe, and looking forward to a lot of your questions tomorrow. And I hope you can also take some time to keep reconnecting to the condition that we received during this meditation, and also the cleaning that Daji ran us through. So thank you very, very much, and see you tomorrow in the evening again. Bye bye. Thank you. Stay safe.